Real estate isn't just about sales, it's about community. How many times have we heard this? Am I right? But what if instead of just giving back to the community, a realtor would have the power to build one? Meet Karina Chavez Horst, an immigrant, an investor, an unstoppable force in reimagining what real estate can be. Along Route 66 in Albuquerque, she's turning forgotten motels into affordable housing and a food hall, bringing people together. How do you juggle from selling homes, building a community, and still staying true to who you are? Let's find out today on the Icons of Real Estate podcast. Hey, Karina, and welcome to the Icons of Real Estate podcast. And you've been in real estate for over 13 years now. What first drew you to the industry, and what keeps you passionate about, after all this time?
I didn't think I was going to become a realtor. I didn't grow up thinking, wow, I'm going to be a realtor when I grow up. I became a realtor because I wanted to help out my father. My father was doing real estate at the time. And it was during that time that technology was changing. I used to send an offer on a fax, and you used to receive the fax and then take it over to your client and then have wet signatures. And then it started changing way too fast for my dad. Like all of a sudden it's, hey, we're going to upload it to the computer. We're going to have electronic signatures and we're going to do a tour and it's all going to be online. And my dad was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be too much change. So I started helping him out. And he said, Karina, get your license and I'll pay for it. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll get my license. Not a big deal. And then before I knew it, 13 years later, no, I'm 15 years now. 15 years later, here 15. I am.
Nice. Yeah. Do you think that was a trick that your father played you? And then he pretended they didn't want to do those things just so you get into real estate? I think that's what happened.
That's probably it. That's probably it, because we're 5 children, and out of the 5 of us, I'm the only one that does real estate.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the 5 do real estate. That's a team right there. No. Okay.
No, it's only me and my sister. 2 years. I shouldn't say I'm the only one that does real estate. My sister started doing real estate 3 years ago, but she does mostly paperwork. She doesn't really do the go out and show houses and do that. So
okay, so I understand you're the favorite. That's basically what you're telling me, right?
Well, that's what I like to say to myself, right?
Awesome. And let's talk about a little, about serving and empowering the Hispanic community, which is like a big chunk of your wallet of business, right? And as an immigrant yourself, like how has your background shaped the way that you serve your clients, especially within the Hispanic community?
Yeah, it's really funny because I do go to Mexico very often. And when you go to Mexico, and obviously I'm in real estate, so I'm going to look at real estate in Mexico, and you see how it is almost impossible to buy a house in Mexico because, you have to have a big down payment. You have to have a lot of credit. The interest rates are crazy compared to the United States. So whenever you compare the markets between Mexico and the US, you're like, I don't understand how more people are not buying houses, because buying a house in America is relatively simple as opposed to other countries. And I'm like, it's just funny because then I have a lot of people that are Mexican immigrants and they live here and all they want is to buy a house, and that is their American dream, but everything is in English. And then, you look at all these loan documents and nobody, who's going to guide you to be like, hey, this is how you buy a house. You have to create credit. You have to have employment history. And then and there's so many programs that allow you to buy a house with a little down payment that it's just really easy for me to help them. And then it's just amazing. You get so much gratitude doing this job that it doesn't feel like a job. It's crazy. I'm like, I do something that I can't believe I get paid for it.
Nice. But thank God you get paid for it though. Would you say it's one of those challenges to kind of like break that myth that people coming, especially from Mexico, that is like, oh, I'm never going to be able to afford a house. I'm never going to buy a house. Like I can't buy a house. So are you then on a mission to break that myth?
I don't think there's that myth, honestly. I'm going to tell you the truth, there's many ways you can buy a house. And I think everybody knows there's a lot of ways to buy a house. I think my mission is to do it the right way. There are ways, it's called owner financing. And that is one of the ways that I'm trying to break, because I'm like, even if you have an ITIN, even if you are a DACA, even if you have other like immigration status, you can still legally buy a house through a bank. There's going to be different avenues. You know, you can have 20% down payment or 3.5% down payment, but there's other avenues where you could do it for 30 years as opposed to doing like a shady real estate contract that's not been recorded, that is going into foreclosure, that you're giving all your money to. So that's where I fight the most. I'm like, if you're going to do this, let's do it the right way.
Yeah. And financial education is really important, right? And what you said is it can get overwhelming for people even in their second language, right? When it comes to clarifying the steps that you take, to helping them and leading them through the offers, through the deal, through the closing, do you take an approach where you share every little detail and you educate them on every single step of the way, or they kind of rely on you for everything else and thank God you're a trustable person?
No, it's funny. So whenever I get a new client, I bring them into the office, and it's funny. My office has like a whole playroom because I serve the Hispanic community, so they always bring their kiddos. So we have a whole playroom, so we can sit.
Nice.
I have snacks for everybody, and then we will go through everything. I will guide you from qualifying to seeing what kind of houses you have, to seeing what kind of inspections we're going to do. And then even though I am not a loan officer, I will still do the entire loan package, and we will translate it so that they feel comfortable and they know what they're signing.
Nice. That's got to be enough, right?
Which has taught me so many lessons, because I'm not a loan officer, but then I'm translating the loan documents. And then you kind of like start to get to know the business, and you're like, hey, that's a really high interest rate. Maybe we should shop around. Or, hey, there's other programs out there that are going to help you. Maybe we should shop around. So it just makes you, the more you know, the better you can help.
The more you know. And yeah, and you need to be kind of make yourself updated on what type of programs and incentives and initiatives are out there, right? Karina,
Yeah.
Is there any particular thing that you do to keep yourself active and always educated on what's going on in New Mexico, Albuquerque, and even in the States?
Yes. Well, as far as the loan programs, I'm really close with my lender. My lender and I have worked together 15 years. So anytime there's a change, I'm the first one that knows about it. My lender's also very adventurous. So whenever if I'm set on a loan and I said, please help me get this loan through, and let's find a loophole, let's find a legal exception, he will go to bat for me. So that's really important. Like in New Mexico, me and Steve did one of the first DACA loans that ever existed. And now everybody does DACA, but we did the first one in New Mexico, and we went through all the hurdles to get it passed. So it's really cool to have someone that I know that will have my back and will fight for me so we can get these loans going.
Nice. Shout out to Steve. And can you, when there's something that I think I know almost everything, but when there's something that I don't know, maybe there's other people that don't know. Can you, what is the name of this loan? DACA?
DACA is just a permit. It's a permit if your parents came to America and you were a child and you were going to school, Obama enabled DACA permits. DACA is a permit that allows you to work and buy a house.
Okay, so maybe that was one of the things that me as a Portuguese was ignorant and everyone else knew. Okay, thank you. Moving on then, Karina. I want to talk about something really interesting that it was one of the things that I think is going to make this episode special. And it's about kind of like some transformational work that you've been doing this past years, right? And you've transformed, several motels along Route 66 into affordable housing. That's amazing. Can you share a little bit like what inspired you for that project, and how is it going so far?
Yeah, so the motels that we own are on Route 66, and they're in the Southwest. The Southwest is my specialty, it's where I sell the most. And I just kept noticing that the Southwest is getting overpriced, just like all of the country. You know, all the houses are going up in price, the interest rates are high. And I kept getting clients that are like, hey, we want to buy a house, but they would qualify for a payment of $700. And you're like, there's no way I can put you or find you a house that's going to be in that range. I'm just going to set you up for failure. So a friend of mine had a motel on Route 66, and he's like, hey, Karina, I'm going to be selling it. Why don't you buy it and turn it into affordable housing? And I was like, that's not a terrible idea. It was 16 units, 1950s. It was beautiful. To me, it was beautiful. I convinced my husband. I'm like, please, let's do this. Let's do this motel. And my husband's like, you are crazy. There's no way we're doing this. And sure enough, we bought it. It came with a lot of headaches, but a lot of learning headaches, because on the outside, it looked beautiful. Like the stucco was fine. The windows were fine. Everything on the outside was fine. But they didn't take care of the inside. So the plumbing, the electricity, the guts of the building had to be redone. And I just didn't see that. So it was also a big lesson for me of when I'm selling a house, just because it looks pretty on the outside doesn't mean it's nice in the inside. But slowly we fixed it up. We have it fully rented at the moment. It's 16 units. And it's just crazy to me because I took over. So the first year of management, we were so tight on money because we're putting every cent that we have into this building so we can have the roof proper, and we put mini splits into each unit so that we didn't have a combined AC unit. And for the first year, I took over management, and it was just crazy because I had veterans, I had nurses, I had teachers, and I'm like, how is it that my country, I love the United States, but how are we not taking care of our elderly and our teachers that have a fixed income? And how is it that I am the one that's doing this job so I can provide affordable housing, because everything else was unaffordable, completely unaffordable. For example, I rent a 1-unit apartment and it's $750, and we include utilities and we include gas. We even include cable not cable, just internet. So we include everything for $750. And then we got to the point that we had a wait list, and I'm like, okay, so we have a wait list, and it's amazing because I'm helping all these people, but at the same time, there's a huge need for this type of establishments that are helping teachers and veterans and my elderlies to live comfortably and not be worried about getting evicted and not be worried about raising rents ridiculous. So then we got a second motel, and then a third motel, and then, then we were like, oh my gosh, that's too many. So now we're working on a food hall for the fourth one.
Nice. That's amazing. So 3 motels. How many units is that?
It's 16, 20, and 10. So
whatever the math is there. But that's impressive. If you multiply, so that's 1 unit, that it's between, one or 2 people in it, right? Or do you have some families as well?
Because they're all studios, no. I have mostly single people. So mostly, like, I get a lot of veterans. I get a lot of elderly, and teachers. Nice. So, believe it or not, teachers.
So you even said like plus 50, more than 50 people that you're helping with this, right?
Yeah.
And I don't see you wearing a cape right now. Obviously, like, you're doing this out of pure feeling of transformation and making a change. Of course, like, I do hope you're turning a profit on it, Karina. But it's great that, like, it's exactly what you said. Like, if there's nobody that is going to help our people, you're going to need to be the one to do it. And I thank you for that. I think, and those 50 people, thank you for that. And I hope that you get more motels. And bigger ones. My
husband said no. He put a stop to me. He's like, let's stabilize.
Four is the limit.
Well, on the hacienda side, which is the food hall, because I said, okay, granted, I have these motels, I have all these people, but I don't want to have just a street full of apartments. I want to have somewhere where the community can go and have a good time. So then one of the motels, we're like, let's convert it into a food hall. It's in a U shape. So it had 22 units. So we're like, let's make it an amazing place for all those people to be able to go and enjoy the place. So we are doing 7 kitchens, 2 bars, 1 sports bar and 1 like margarita lounge, a hair salon, a barber shop, a paleteria, which is, like a ice cream shop for the kiddos. And we said, let's just make one place, which is smack in the middle of all 4 of them, of the other 3. And then that way they can go enjoy and have community time and be outside and not just be another apartment. So that's where we're at right now. Our contractor walked out. It's amazing, but it's full of challenges.
Yeah, I was saying that's amazing, and then you said something that it's less amazing.
Our contractor walked out about 2 weeks ago on the project, and so here we are. And I said, okay, I have 2 choices. I can hire another contractor, or I can just take this as a lesson and just grow. And I said, okay, what do I need to do to finish the project? And I need a GB98. So a GB98 is a license that will allow me to finish with the project. So now I am starting to get my GB98 so I can finish the project. I'm like, life just pushes you places and you just take the lessons.
That's it. And I mean, it's those pivotal moments that also define someone, right? And maybe if it was someone else in your place, maybe they would have either gave up or they would have either kind of like just throw money at a random new contractor just to get it done, right?
We're on a tight budget, my friend. We're on a tight budget. So it's time money grows on trees. So then it's like either do or give up. So then we'll do. And I told my husband, I said, hey, I'm getting my GB98. Let's do it. That's all we can do. Just go up.
And obviously, once that food hall is ready, you do need to find the restaurants and the bars to take over, or is that something that you already have in line?
Well, it's funny because I didn't start interviewing just yet because I said, let me be at least 80% done with the project so I can know who I'm putting in. And it's just been amazing because all of these people know that I'm doing this and they've all reached out to me. They're like, Karina, please save me a spot. Karina, please have a spot for me. Mm-hmm. So I kind of have an idea of who's going in, and it's all going to be Latino businesses that are just wanting an opportunity to showcase their food, which is their love, their culture, their everything. It's how they express their love for us. Nice. So I'm excited. I am so excited about it. I can't wait to see it.
For people, at least, I mean, if I would be close by, I'm a little bit far away. But if I would be close by, I would definitely want to just put into a picture at least what we're talking here. We can share some image along the episode. But if people want to go there to even take a look, obviously it'll be some time to get ready. But where is it located, or what's the name?
It's in the heart of the Southwest. It's on Coors and Central. Central is Route 66. So it's on Route 66 and Coors, heart of the Southwest. That is like the 2 main avenues where we get 10,000 cars because everybody that is from my community lives on that side of town. So it's going to be on the way to work, on the way home. It's just going to be amazing. I can't wait for it. It's my baby.
Nice. Yeah, and it's growing. I mean, it's already well alive. Maybe it's more than your baby because you already have. Are the other motels functioning? So are the other 3 motels functioning? Yeah. So it's. I would say it's a young adult. It's a young adult already, and maybe with this food hall, it's going to be like a grown ass project.
I hope so. We did purchase the lot next door to it because this is, it was a 1950s motel. It's going to be restaurants. It's going to be for the community. But then my motels, I need you to know this, they don't have laundry service because it was a 1950s motel and it was just a bedroom. So we didn't
Nobody washed their clothes then.
So then we decided that next to the food hall, we would purchase the land next door and we would have a laundromat. That way people from the motels could go do their laundry, go have a beer or go have a taco or go have ice cream while their laundry is getting done. And it's all within 1 mile. So it's walking distance, or you can take the bus or the art and then get there. So we just keep thinking, how can I serve the community better?
Trying to put everything together. People won't need to move. You're literally creating your own kind of like almost open gated community there.
Right. Yeah.
And Karina, when you think about the future, like obviously your community, your team, your clients, your husband letting you use more of the budget or not, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave behind, through real estate and everything that you do on your day to day?
Funny that you asked that question. So everything that I am and everything that I know is because of my father. He was my biggest mentor, and my father passed away last year. So I hope to just, like be a little bit like my dad. My dad was a deacon. He served his community, and everything that I'm doing is to honor him. So I hope my children can do the same for me. Karina was a great, great community leader. Let's be like her.
Nice. And I think you probably were told this already, but I believe like your father will be proud of you of what you're doing here, because it is amazing. And it's great to see a community leader. And then if you go ahead and raise more community leaders, that's what the world needs. And thank you, Karina, for coming on the Icons of Real Estate podcast as our special guest today. If people, they already know where to go and get some tacos, do some laundry, take a look at your refurbished motels. But if they want to get in touch with you, find out a little bit more about your mission, how can they get a hold of you?
I'm on Instagram, and my Instagram handle is Chavez Team Realtors. Just like it's
awesome. That's
Chavez
simple as that.
Realtors.
And yeah, thank you very much, Karina. Next time we'll do this episode in Spanish as well, so we'll release it down to the community. I'll do an effort there. But thank you so much, and I had a great time. And I'll see you guys next week.
Loved what you heard? Subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your fellow agents. It helps more agents find the show and tells us what you want more of. And hey, want to get featured on multiple podcasts like Icons, or even find epic guests for your podcast? Check out The Hub, the ultimate guesting platform in real estate. Link in the description. Catch you next time. Keep crushing it out there.